Patrick Pearce with LightWing Studios. We're located in Titusville, Florida, home of the Kennedy Space Center. We're manufacturers of musical instrument accessories. In my spare time, I have a home recording studio where I run ProTools 12.4 native. And this is the old dog, my Dell T5500 workstation. It has a single 6-core processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 2 500 gigabyte disk drives in it, and a 512 megabyte video card. Recently, I saw a video on the ProTools Expert website in which James Ivey's old Mac was upgraded. And so I thought, why can't I do the same thing with this PC? I was on a quest. What you're going to see next is a series of pictures and more video of all of the parts that we used in the upgrade process, and then some benchmark testing. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and please stay tuned. Now that I've got all that hardware installed, I have to do a system reorganization. I have to clone the 500 gigabyte disk drive over to the new SSD drive and make that the new boot drive. I have to take all of the plug-in content that I've accumulated and move that over to the second SSD drive. Both of them are plugged into a PCIe card, so they're directly connected into the bus. There's a third card, PCIe card, which has 2 SATA 3 ports on it and 2 USB ports for external plugins in that. I'm going to connect both the 2 terabyte drives to that. One of them will be used for sessions, and the second one will be used for keeping the storage of all of the files that I have downloaded and plugins and backups of that. Additionally, and finally, this machine has an eSATA port on the back of it. I'm going to repurpose one of the 500 gigabyte hard disk drives in an external closure made by Roswell, and I'll be using that for periodic backups of the boot drive. So let's go over and see how we made out here. Let's boot the system. Okay, so here we are at the newly rebuilt LightWing Studios desktop for our Dell Precision T5500 workstation running ProTools 12.4 under Windows 7 Professional Service Pack 1 64-bit. You can see that we have a clock over here, which we're going to use for our relatively scientific testing of load times and benchmarking. So once we get to 5:45, straight up at the 12, we'll kick off Pro Tools and see how long she takes to load. Wow. It took 14 seconds. Okay. Let's switch back over to Pro Tools. I have a session here that I created, which I call Insane, appropriately. It has 200 tracks of Air Music's hybrid plugin loaded up in it. And the purpose of this track and testing here is to see how long it takes Pro Tools to actually load this. So at 10 seconds, 2, we'll kick off the loading. Let's see how long this takes. I suspect this is going to be a while, so we'll be back. Okay, so we're at 185 plus tracks and still going strong. Once the tracks are all loaded and the desktop is rebuilt, we're going to check the time. It took 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, let's switch back over to ProTools. And indeed, there are 200 tracks of hybrid in this session. Now let's go to our system usage and see where we are. With the operating system loaded, ProTools loaded, 200 tracks of hybrid loaded, we're running at around 32% on average utilization. No paging out to disk and 10% of memory. So let's see what happens when we kick in the play button. $55, $59, $61. So between 55 and 60% on average is pretty astonishing, actually. This goes to show you that you can upgrade or even build a ProTools 12.4 Windows 7 Pro workstation for under $1,000. And I want to thank His Lordship, Sir James Ivey, for inspiring me to go through this process and this project, and all the guys at and girls at ProTools Expert for the great job that they do. If anyone would like to reach out and talk to me about this, they can reach me at contact@lightwingstudios.com. Once again, it's Patrick Pearce, and thank you.